The Houston Astros are in the middle of another scandal, this time about sign stealing. Once again, we're going to talk about it next. Larry Brown from LarryBrownSports.com here to talk about what's going on with the Houston Astros. So this week, The Athletic dropped a report that alleged that the Houston Astros in 2017 were stealing signs illegally. And there's a big difference between just stealing signs using the tools available on the field, such as your eyes, or picking when a pitcher has a tell that tips off what he's going to be throwing, or just being able to see the catcher naturally with a runner on second base. What they were doing or alleged to have done is so much different and beyond that. They are alleged to have used electronic devices with the explicit intention of stealing signs, relaying them to the hitter to the team's advantage, and using technology. That's crossing a line that's going so far above and beyond what is an acceptable form of just using your competitive edge to be able to pick some signs. And so that's what they're accused of doing. And the report from The Athletic cites 4 sources who were with the Astros in the 2017 season, including pitcher Mike Fiers, who went on record. And the reason why Fiers has gone on record about it is because he's now with a different team. And yeah, maybe when you're on the team and you're on the Astros and the team's doing well and winning a World Series, okay, maybe you say, all right, this is cool as long as we're winning and it's going fine. But when you're on a different team and you get smacked around when you face the Astros, which Fiers did when he was in Houston, now it's your duty as playing for a new team to actually tell them what's going on so that your fellow teammates don't get ripped apart there, and to prepare them for this. And so the system that Houston is reportedly used was they set up a camera in center field that would zoom in on the catcher's signals. From the catcher's signals, they would be able to check the camera's feed on allegedly a TV monitor inside the tunnel right next to the dugout. And so they would be able to see what the catcher's signs were. And then in that split second, the way they would benefit their hitter is they would make a signal with a loud noise to indicate when an off-speed pitch was coming. And so what they would do is they would allegedly bang against a trash can in the dugout. That loud noise would signify to a hitter an off-speed pitch is coming. And if you have never played baseball before, you don't understand how big of a deal that is. It is huge. And let me just make an analogy. Imagine in football, if you play on defense and you know ahead of time whether it's going to be a run or a pass play, how much different it would be. Just imagine every time there's a play action fake that you don't bite for the run because you know it's going to be a pass. It's going to be a massive advantage. And so what pitchers have to their advantage is the guessing game. It's keeping hitters off balance so they don't know what's coming next. And so in order to hit a 90 plus mile per hour fastball, you have to be keyed up for it and ready for the fastball. And in order to hit a pitch that's that hard, you have to be looking for it. Breaking balls, similarly, when you are looking for a 95 mile per hour fastball, it's really hard to adjust to a slow pitch. Or if you're looking for a slow pitch and then a fast one comes, likewise, it's very hard to adjust. Just having that information where you can eliminate that change of pace is a huge advantage. When I played when I was younger, we had a coach, a first base coach, who was able to sometimes, if a catcher was very sloppy, he would be able to see into the signs and just be able to tell if the catcher was putting down more than one finger. And if he was putting down more than one finger, generally that meant off speed was coming. And as a hitter, he would relay that to us and say, kid, that was the code word. So if you heard kid, you knew off speed was coming and you knew to wait. Makes a huge difference for a hitter. And you can look at it, some players' home road splits were a little bit different and it caused some results. But here's the thing, how much of a role did it have in the Astros' success? Well, if you look at it, 2017 and 2018, the Astros were good at home, but actually had a better road record. So this was a team that was good either way. But then there's another layer to this, which is that even more information has come out. Trevor Plouffe, a former player, said on Twitter that he heard that the Astros had a way of being able to relay signs when they were on the road and didn't have home field advantage. And in this system, apparently they had somebody who was in the bullpen catcher. They would relay a sign to the bullpen catcher, or the bullpen catcher was wearing an earpiece and would listen in. And someone was watching the television feed inside the dugout and would relay to the bullpen catcher via this feed what was happening. And that the bullpen catcher would put his arms up or down depending on what the pitch was. So a hitter could make a quick glance out to the bullpen to see it. So that might also explain how they were able to do it. Then beyond that, in the 2019 ALCS, the Yankees accused the Houston Astros as well of stealing signs illegally and communicating it via whistles. And so again, the whistle would signify off-speed was coming. The Astros have faced sign-stealing accusations in the past. MLB has cleared them. There were some accusations that they had an improper employee going where he shouldn't have been during games, during playoff games. On top of that, you have a whole culture that's being investigated with the Astros. Trevor Bauer has said or accused them on Twitter of gaining advantages for their pitchers by having them use some sort of substance like pine tar. So these accusations have followed the Astros. A lot of it has to do with the team's culture and also their success. You don't waste time on teams that are not doing as well. But when you're losing to a team and they're cheating in order to gain advantages, that's when it becomes a problem. This has been going on in terms of allegations, plus you've got proof, you've got players saying it, ex-players on the team saying it. There's a lot going on here. MLB has to finally step in and do something. They didn't do a thing before with the previous allegations. And probably there's two reasons why. I would figure that one, look, they didn't want the focus to be on these scandals. And two, they probably thought, well, look, we've gotten the Red Sox before using a Fitbit to communicate signs, so other teams do it too. And maybe there was an element of like, hey, look, everyone does it. It's kind of like if you bust a pitcher for having pine tar in his glove, well, you might not want to do that because you got to make sure everyone on your team is clean first. And so maybe MLB didn't want to punish the Astros because they figure, well, look, hey, this is a rampant problem all throughout baseball. Pretty much everyone's on equal ground. Well, no, this goes beyond that. And there's proof. It's on record. You need to punish them. Set the tone. You will not take this. It ruins the game. This is going above and beyond. Okay, that's not the way the game is meant to be played, where you use technology like that to pick signs in the middle of a game and communicate them. That's not okay. Completely unacceptable. I would not take away the Astros World Series from 2017. As far as I'm concerned, they executed on the field. They won it. They're still a good team with good players who actually got the job done. Even if you know what's coming, still hitting a home run is hard to do. So I give them credit for that. But even still, they need to be punished, and MLB finally has to come down hard on them. I want to hear what you have to say. Please leave a comment on this, and make sure you check out LarryBrownSports.com for ongoing coverage of this issue. Thank you for watching.